Nice. Opponent's playing Ujin. Awesome. I've never played against Ujin. I've never put Ujin in the command zone either. That is really cool. That is really cool. Oh. All right. Hopefully I fixed my audio. I know I've said that like 10 times, but I think I actually did it this time. We're here with Nadu. Winged Wisdom seems to be very popular. A lot of people saying it's really good. It seems to be pretty scary, right? I personally haven't had an issue beating it, but that's just me. Obviously, I can very easily lose to it just as much as I can win to it. And I can see the power level of it. It does seem pretty scary. So, what does it do? It's a 3 mana, 3/4 flyer. The 3 mana breakpoint is excellent with 1 mana ramp spells, right? So that's what you got going on here. Whenever this creature becomes, or rather all of your creatures, not just this one, and it's not an ETB effect, so all of your creatures just have this text. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it in the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. So you growth spiral, and every creature can have it happen to that creature twice a turn. So for the most part, you're never really going to run out of that trigger at each turn cycle. It's your turn and your opponent's turn, so it goes back and forth. So this highly disincentivizes removal spells because you would just get a bunch of growth spirals. You could still make the argument that you don't want to tap out to cast this, because if you don't hit a land with a 1 mana protection spell, you could just get completely hosed, and that feels really bad. So how do we exploit this? Well, we have a bunch of 1 mana protection spells. Equip costs. When you go to move an equipment, that triggers this, because it was the target of, spell or ability. Displacer Kitten seems completely broken. It also, I'm pretty sure, completely resets the trigger. Like, you just do it infinitely, kind of. I don't think there's a combo going infinite with this card here or anywhere. There might be, but that's not really why we're playing it. It's just insane amount of value, and, just makes everything much more miserable for our opponent. This curve is extremely low. You could even drop a few more cards to just put more lands in here, so you just get way more lands off this, but spells are kind of just fine too. This doesn't... I'm not running a lot of auras, so trying to make this big is a little questionable. However, irritating your opponent with, like, this 3/4 that is giving me infinite cards seems to be just as good when it comes to actually trying to win the game. I don't know where we are in terms of deck weight. I don't know if this is like Hell Q or not. I mean, my deck has a bunch of stuff in it that would put you there anyways, so who knows. This is just what it starts. This is what my list looks just going in blind, right? This is what I'm doing to start with. Obviously, a chunk of this is subject to change. The only real creatures I have that, like, actually care about this are my mana dorks, and that feels kind of fine. I just target my mana dorks and still get the value from this, and I really don't see that as a problem. Like, I don't see myself wanting Elder Gargaroth or Questing Beast. Like, I feel like this is my win condition, and all the other creatures just happen to also be able to do this. So, this is what my list, like, looks to start. Curve is as low as it basically gets. We could basically run Luris. But we can't because we're blue and green. Alright, let's see what happens. Make sure my game isn't muted. Oh, first opponent gave up immediately. Oh boy, is that where this commander is now? Is that what's happening? People are like, no. But this is sketchy. I don't know. Let's give our opponent an advantage. I feel like I'm just... I'm favored. I'm just gonna keep a 1-lane in and see what happens. Ooh, nice. I like this one. Actually, the one time I played against it, it completely destroyed me. It's really funny. Hopefully we get some revenge here. Well, they're on the play. I do have Mana Drain, though, which is probably just way too good to pass up. And my opponent has that, which is kind of insane. So, already way behind. See if he can't catch back up. I'm just going to run this out. I don't see why casting. Alright. We were behind. I guess my opponent maybe wanted to see if I also had a Mana Dork, and then they were just going to give up if I did. And of course it's in green, so green just got, like, the card. The card of cards. This might have went up in value, too. It might be like 45 bucks now. Okay, so same logic as last time. We're just not going to Alright, nice. Yep, my opponent's just not gonna... Yeah, this is Azusa with extra steps. Kind of cute. Alright, cool, we win. Look at that. I apparently no counterspell, and even if they did, I have Spell Pierce, and I'm absolutely just running this out this turn with Spell Pierce. Oh, Muldrotha. Wow. That's neat. No mana at all, but this is a slower opponent. No, they're green, and we can do better. Yeah. They're green, I don't know no play. I could just do better than that. Doesn't really matter what land. So I don't have to play my commander next turn. Or the turn after, really. Could just play Loam Speaker. What does this do? Post-combat main phase. 4 cards in your graveyard. Alright, so it currently doesn't do anything. I feel comfortable playing this. I'm going to just play Sanctuary as a tap land. Just not feel bad about it. I don't want to get in a weird spot where I wish I had 5 mana next turn. And only had 4. Wait. Each player mills 4? Okay, that's kind of cool. Wait, what does this do? I didn't even know this had Eternalize. I didn't even know that. Wow, okay. I guess Tail's End? We could probably get rid of the soft counter. I think Tail's End is fine here. Opponent can do a good job at ignoring me as well. Okay, what did they get? They got the black one. So they could have, like, Fatal Push or something crazy. I doubt it, though. Yep, so we just hang out behind this. Again, my opponent might just... I expect a lot of people to ignore this, because they might not have a choice. Jade Light Ranger, wow. Okay. Probably too slow to cast this. Yeah, they just don't have the time for that. I don't have to crack this at all. Yeah, I just don't have to crack this. Okay, that was a profoundly good draw. Gets a card engine going, and I get value here. That was a very good draw. Ooh, that was also a very good draw. Oh, wow. Alright. I mean, this is what we sign up for. We just do this now, yep. Oh, we can only equip once with this one, Sag. Think that's all we're doing? Yep, that's all we're doing. Let's just not... Wait. Yeah, let's not play Magic against that. I don't want to play against that. They chose to do that instead of cast Muldrotha. I wonder why. Yep. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. This is also kind of fine. I can chump it. I can just let it happen. What does this come back as? Yeah, we can just sort of let this happen, I think. Alright, let's get a land out for no reason. I wonder if we want Uro in here. You think Uro's viable? I feel like Uro's viable. I will just cycle this. I think that makes sense. Alright. Kinda out of gas. Well, to be fair, I should have swung first. I do draw a card when I hit them. Should have just done that first. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. If we don't need it, we can just cycle it. If we do need it, well, we have it. Again, we're not killing them super fast is the problem. And Mazrotha loves time. And we're giving him, like, a lot of time. 6-4. Sure, I got no answer to it anyways. Sure. I'll probably take this trade. Feel like that makes sense to me. I don't need more mana, really. Alright, send it again. Yeah, we might need more auras. There's not a ton that I'm excited about, but I would like to actually kill my opponent. There is incentive to casting these, like, immediately. Maybe I can just cast one. Alright, I mean, I also probably should have been moving this around each turn. Kind of forgot I had that. Not gonna lie. Alright, that worked out. Yeah, I just sort of forgot I had this. The equipment there. This is stupid. This is disgusting. Oh, this is great. I mean, what is my opponent's like supposed to do? Alright, which one is out of gas? Alright, I have one more. I can do one more. What is my opponent, like, actually supposed to do? Did I play a land? I did? Alright. Yeah. I was about to say, I don't really know what my opponent is supposed to do there. Also, this is an example of maybe not needing more auras, right? Once I start to do that, what does it matter? I mean, yeah. What does this do? Death Touch, Lifelink, End Step. Something died. This gets bigger? Okay. Fatal Push. Meditize. Swords. Nope. 2-mana removal spell. Nope. Alright, so again, we're not casting our commander next turn. I think my opponent has Mox Amber, Ornithopter, something there. They definitely had something there. I would have liked another thing. Alright, does this do something? I don't know what's going on right now. Why is my opponent holding priority? Don't actually know what's going on. How are they holding priority? Does this do something I'm not aware of? Do they have Slaughter Pact? Is Slaughter Pact in the game? I guess it could be Slaughter Pact. Be kind of weird, but it's certainly possible. I will exhaust a... Yeah, we're going to block this, right? This is indestructible? Yep. I mean, I am hosed by Slaughter Pact, but I don't know if Slaughter Pact is in the game. If it is, I have never seen it. Alright, I don't know what this 0-mana thing is. I really wish I knew what this priority being held is from. Not sure. Okay, they kept their commander in the graveyard. Interesting. I would probably do well to tap like this. I think this makes sense. And unfortunately, I will not risk moving the equipment. A single protection spell is already kind of insane. Especially this cheap. We also actually can block this way instead of like leaving this up. Bow Strider, sure. Alright, now that holds priority perpetually because you can sack things to it. Flare of Malice. That's what it was. Alright, unfortunately for our opponent, we get to phase out here, so we don't actually lose our commander. We just lose the elf. And we found a land to replace the elf. My opponent draws off of Gix, though, but I can't imagine that it's that bad. Don't want that. Maybe we did want the Kami. It is a second creature to flip the equipment repeatedly, but I don't know. I think my mana is busy. I think my mana is just busy doing other things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're just doing this. We're just gonna sit back behind all this. We got around an edict. Alright, so yeah, I guess there is new cards. Look at that. Flare of Malice. Interesting. Flare of Malice. Opponent's looking for lands. Maybe there's an argument to not swinging, but I don't really know if draw go makes any sense. I feel like it just doesn't... Like, I'm not doing what I want to be doing. Sure. Think my opponent's looking for lands. There's probably one on top now. Be near end step. If a permanent, you can... Yep, fine. Let's cycle one of these. I guess the one that gives me more damage. Because it does the thing. Alright, Bonesaw was just a redraw, I guess. Again, I need a second creature to spam it. I'm winning the race, I guess. Gix does lose life when you hit me, too, right? You may pay life. Yeah, I kind of wish I had something else to do, but I do not. I'm pretty sure you can't equip to the same creature repeatedly, so I can't just keep doing that. But yeah, my opponent fell behind on mana. I have something that is profoundly difficult to deal with. Huh. Oh, it's the Nadu off. Alright, so this is probably a complete nightmare, unless someone has a counterspell. I have the equipment. I technically have the mana dork, but I'm on the draw. Yeah, this seems like a complete nightmare of a mirror match, honestly. This could just be I lost simply because I was on the draw. Like, okay. I probably... Well, it depends what my opponent does, I guess. I don't know. Alright, this makes me want to cast mine. I don't really know what my opponent could have that would make me not want to just run mine out right now, that they had done what they just did. They could have like a Frogify or something. That'd be kind of unfortunate, but I guess we got into play first. It's just a matter of that, like, doing more than just that, I guess. Okay, they found a death-touching frog that does a good job at blocking, but they did not commit their commander. I feel like committing the commander is a better idea, but my opponent might be more familiar with this than me. Okay. I would actually like more lands, so I'm gonna not fetch right now. There's no way I'm playing around Ledger Shredder. Actually, maybe I don't want more lands. Yeah, I'll just crack now. I actually need, like, a spell that does something. I wonder if they block. I also wonder if I want a green mana. I guess? I feel like I wanted another island. Okay, that's what we were looking for. So they can block this. I wonder if they do. Nope. So I get a card draw trigger. They let me do that, which is kind of huge here. I got nothing else to do. I need to leave this up. I wish I had a counterspell. It'd be just absolutely amazing right now, but I don't. My opponent is down to 2 cards, though. Maybe nothing too crazy. But this frog does block. Oh, they tapped the frog. Okay, they have some kind of fight effect, and they want to fight the frog to my Nadu. But this doesn't work because it has ward. So they actually can't do that. They need more mana. They don't have a 4-power creature. This only taps for 1. And they know about my protection spell. Yeah, I think they're realizing. Now we know what's in their hand, though. They have a fight effect. And they're not using Poison Dart Frog as a blocker, which means I get to swing without thinking. Because I have the curiosity. Yep, my opponent just completely blundered this. It's going to a good cause. Let me tell you. What better cause than this? Yeah, there you go. My one and only emote for the past 5 years. People want me to make more, but I'm not doing it. Alright, I have Goose and I'm on the play, and that's just kind of depressing for some decks. But it is mono red. Mono red seems to be... It does pretty good against the 4 and 5 toughest creatures, which, you know, going farther back, I would say is not usually the case. I will take this time, though, to play something that is not my commander, because I think that is a good idea. Not burning the Goose token also seems pretty ideal. Yeah, I'm just going to do this here. Alright, my opponent just played that and did nothing. We are sitting big pretty here. I will do nothing, actually. Sure. I don't think it can really attack right now. My opponent is in a terrible spot because of that. Feels kind of bad. But they gotta do what they gotta do. I like this. I actually do like. It's a creature and it does what I want to be doing. So let's keep that. Let's run this out. Let's put this here. Nice, we got a land. This taps for 2 now because I have a 4 power creature, so I'll just do this right now. Loop this back and forth a little bit. I'm not... I'll just do this again. I don't care. Nothing matters. Let's just spam this. Literally nothing matters. I can probably just ignore my opponent's commander. However, I can see an argument to leaving up blocks forever, because this is mono red and it could just be dead in the water because I just don't allow it to play Magic by swinging. But I'm not convinced I have to be worried about it, so I'm winning this race 6 ways to Sunday. I also have food tokens. Opponent appears to have stone cold nothing, which is very weird, but even if their hand was full of lightning bolts or in shocks, I feel like I'm in an insanely, like, I don't know, we're not even playing the same game, really. I'm just flying over them. I don't care about this value. Okay, I can get rid of one of these, I guess that one, because this one draws. And play the boots. I'll play the Hedron next turn as an actual creature. Alright, a land was nice too, because if this dies, I don't feel too bad. I kind of want to just run this out once with a single activation. I feel like that makes sense. Just send it. I could hit a land, but I am not. I'm shields down here. Yeah, I'm shields down. But that's probably fine. That's probably fine. They could have edicts and stuff that get around this anyways, and stuff like that. Ritual of Soot. Okay, they're just ignoring it and trying to cast Grenzo. They can't kill it now because it has Ward 1. Okay, so they're just heisting me. A lot of cards are not super useful. However, if they steal a counterspell, that means me frogifying this doesn't work. And that would be kind of unfortunate. Okay, let's get a blue here. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do it again. I don't see why not. Okay, that should be all of them. I actually don't want this. I actually don't want that. And no, I can do it one more time. Okay, do I want to is the question. I think it makes sense to. I think it makes sense. Alright, I kind of showed my opponent a card I'd rather not show them, but who cares? I just drew 40 cards. Played a bunch of lands. Alright, Grenzo, you need to be very disgusting right now. And I don't really know what that even looks like, so let's find out. Flicker effects are kind of useful. They can flicker spam Grenzo with my cards. Sort of. It's like 1 or 2 flickers in there. That would be kind of funny. Protection spells for their commander. Kind of funny. Sure. They already cast their free spell off of Grenzo this turn, so now I don't really have to worry about anything. Well, it does go back to me, actually, so I guess I do have to worry about something. Oh, man, I would love a counterspell here. Alright, well, I mean, we're just going to send it. If you have the protection spell, I mean, it is like the most likely outcome, so. Of course you do, why not? Target's permanent you control. Do I have a counterspell in the graveyard? Nope. Alright. Swing. This does keep it around, but it does mean... Well, what it's stealing on my upkeep isn't actually all that scary, right? Let's start doing this again. Counterspell, alright. Well, that would have been awesome. So if I activate it first, I would be in a phenomenal spot, but I didn't. However, I think I'm still in an insane spot, so I'm not going to really worry about it. I will probably play nothing. No, we can play one thing. We play like one thing here. I think this is fine. It's almost the same as keeping up Counterspell for the most part of what my opponent could do, but who knows, maybe it wasn't worth playing this. Knowing me, it probably wasn't. But I do have the phase out, so if they have a board wipe, I still can counter it, essentially. I don't really know if they're running board wipes. But yeah, I got myself in a spot where Grenzo exists still. And I didn't necessarily have to be in that spot. But again, it's heisting nothing crazy. My whole deck is 1s and 2s, right? Like, it's not heisting Ulamogs. Oh, they got Mount Doom. They just need a legendary artifact. And then this actually does something. Destroy target artifact. There is no card... Oh, I guess there's this. Okay. Guess there is this. I would kind of like my spammable equipment. I feel like it's kind of nice to have that. Chamil is unfortunate, but hopefully it doesn't do anything too stupid. My opponent is at 12. I killed him in, like, what, 3 attacks? Kind of wish it was a little bit faster than that. Alright, they got Gilded Lotus. I would normally say that's not good, but it's probably fine here. I don't think we're going to get schmeated by that. I'd say I'm, like, upset I don't hit lands, but, like, I'm not upset that I didn't hit lands. There's not much incentive to do this pre-combat, I don't think. But, I don't see why... I don't know, I don't see why not to do it. They also didn't swing with Grenzo. I think that was free. Unless my board state looked some kind of way that I'm not aware of. I'm going to tap this. Like, it's subject to die, and that just makes sense to me. Okay, well, I mean, every time we hit a land, it's basically free to do it again. These are out of gas, though, so I can spend 2 mana to get 1 more trigger. Or I can just send damage here. Yeah, I also miss a... No, I don't. I do not miss a damage, because the power goes over here. This is fine. This is A-okay. Flare? Is this the flare? Looks like the flare? We're flaring me? Wild Shape. A 1/5 spider with reach. Oh, I love it. That's fine. That's actually fine. You can block. I'm fine with that. This means I can Frogify Grenzo now. I don't see a way to sacrifice Grenzo, and they did not choose the hexproof one, so they have to have, like... I really don't even know what they could have here. And I don't think I need to do anything else, so I'll just pass. They know about Counterspell, so Grenzo's not the best idea, but I guess they have to force the issue. It's not like it's going to get any better for them. But I almost want Grenzo to resolve, because Grenzo isn't really doing anything. I feel like letting Grenzo resolve is fine. However, I have Snapcaster Mage, so I feel less bad. Wait. Is this uncounterable? It is uncounterable. Spells you control can't be countered. Good thing I read that. Alright. So we're just fine then. We're just sitting behind nothing. We're still killing them in 2 attacks. And Grenzo does not do a good job at coming back. That's annoying. That is a blocker. And the more time my opponent has, the more annoying this gets. Alright, this was a problem. Jamil was a problem. Soul Transfer. That does not work. My opponent's last card needs to be a removal spell, because I can now kill them with Tyvar's Stand. So they actually have way less time than I had thought. Oh wait, no, they have a blocker. We just talked about this. They have a blocker. So no. This doesn't give trample. This doesn't have trample. Yeah, alright. Never mind. Helm of the Host? What? That's crazy. Okay. I don't really know what I'd be drawing when I cycle these cards, just cycling on end step. I'd just be drawing more of the same thing, so I just don't feel like I want to do that. We can just get basics here. I don't have to pay all my life for no reason. Mystic Sanctuary, was actually a good idea? Maybe. Maybe I wanted Mystic Sanctuary there. Well, no. My Frogifies are all essentially the same. I don't like it. Dive down. Alright, well... Yeah, my opponent's going to have more time than I want them to have, but it is up to them to, like, somehow not die to this in, you know, a few attacks. But they did find a blocker, which is incredibly annoying. That might be the only one in my deck, right? Because Storm Tamer's in play for me, so that might have been the only thing they could have done. Okay, I definitely have the mana to just run these out. Definitely have the mana to do that. Oh, this is an instant, dude! This is an instant. I could have pumped the other creature they didn't target. Oh, I messed up. I'm sorry, I messed up. Was it lethal? I don't think I could have done it for 11. I don't think I could have done it for 11. And if I could have, I probably would not just tap out like that. So, because they have a card I don't know about. Yeah, alright. I don't think it was lethal. 1, 2, 3. Alright, yeah, I guess I did not miss lethal. But I missed a big chunk of damage, if that wound up being a thing. So this only copies Grenzo once, and I really just don't care about that. I don't care about Grenzo. Okay, I care more about that. I care more about what just happened. Why did that happen? Why did they get copies of these? Why did my opponent get copies of these? Can someone enlighten me? What just happened? Am I not understanding something? The token isn't a legendary? How come they had to sacrifice the other Grenzo token? What just happened? I'm at a loss. I'm completely at a loss. I don't know what just happened. Alright, well, my opponent now just has blockers. Okay. It copied all creatures with an equipment on them? What? I guess we'll discover that next turn when I move my equipment. Seems kind of unbelievable, but sure. Can I even win now? I can still win. Alright, my opponent might just accidentally tap too low, and then I Tyvar's whatever they don't block and kill them that way. Because I have enough attackers. Might not matter, but I don't actually know what just happened here. I have no idea. That obviously does not seem to be what Helm of the Host is supposed to do. At least to my knowledge, it doesn't do that. So I guess the card is completely broken and bugged. My opponent also looked just as confused. Sure. They have 3 mana left. They have 2 mana left. And now we go to Discover. We find Destroy all creatures. Great. Actually, wait, no, that's fine. I don't care about that. I do not care about Destroy all creatures. I don't have a man land, but this means my opponent's not doing anything except, like, killing their own Grenzo. And that's probably fine. Do I want to cycle any of these? Oh, wait, my opponent's dead to Snapcaster Mage. Okay, they're dead to Snapcaster Mage. Assuming the game doesn't just skip priority. Okay. Can I, like, cast this Snapcaster, please? There you go. Didn't want to miss my opportunity to do that and obviously win the game. None of these do anything, so I guess I'll just cast that one. My opponent has priority being held, and I don't know from what. They cannot cast these for free, so I'm not sure what's going on. Alright, let's put this here. Put this here for the sake of it. And then do this for 7. Alright, we won. I have absolutely no idea what happened with that Helm of the Host. Thankfully, it didn't cost me the game. Alright, we're playing against Brony Filth, except it's playing this. Creature, this spell can't be countered. Alright, that's not too big of a deal. If we can just run away with the game real quick. What else does this do? All creatures can't be countered, and all creatures you have control have trample. Alright. Cool. I like this card. I like it. I don't know if it's gonna destroy me or not, but we'll see. I will not be playing my commander next turn. I will be playing this, and probably this, and swing. Maybe it made more sense to just put this on there. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Do we really care? Ah, if I had Spell Pierce, I'd probably send it right now. Sag. They are a blue deck, and they clearly have instant speed interaction. I almost like this Grazer, but I don't like it enough. I almost like it, though. Alright, I found a counterspell. However, I can't cast the counterspell. So I think we're just going to let our opponent have another turn here. I feel like it's insane to cast my commander right now without some kind of... Yeah, feels like a complete mistake. Feels like a total mistake to cast my commander. I need to counter something before I literally don't have the ability to. Okay, their commander cost 5, so at this point I basically must cast this. Alright, we got there. Oh, we also got a card. Oh, we hit a land, dude. We hit a land. Awesome. I don't even feel bad about Nadu dying now, because I hit the land. Alright, what does Teamer do to get out of this? What do they do? Well, whatever it is, apparently it's 6 mana. It's not a good sign. Can't be Inferno Titans, not a lot of dragons. River's Rebuke is fine. They can't Cyclonic Rift me yet. I don't know. Extra turn? Well, there's no legendary for the 6th one. I don't know. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I don't really feel bad about that at all. That is totally fine. Bard class. Cool. I like what my opponent's doing. I like it. Let's move this, get our free card. It's a counter spell. Let's get another card. It's a that thing. I'll send 1 damage here. All damage probably is just useful. Alright. So they know about this, so probably ideal to cast this before anything else. Otherwise they just get hit by this. Okay, I will send this on literally any card. So I, you know, draw a card. Or rather, just set my opponent back, because otherwise it doesn't do anything. Their commander costs 3, so it is coming in play right now. But it doesn't have full breach or anything like that. I found another equipment, not as exciting, but it's an equipment nonetheless. Oh, every time you hit a land, it has to be the most depressing thing for your opponent to see. I'm going to tap the Elvish Mystic because, again, it's the most susceptible thing to dying. And my opponent has an incentive to actually kill it, so... Oh, I did it again, dude. I did it again. I'm supposed to swing before I put it back. I'm supposed to swing and then move it. And then move it. I keep doing that. Don't think it matters, though. But obviously, jack that up. Don't think it matters. Supposed to swing first. The equipment does something. It actually does something. Alright. Another game where opponent has uncounterable spammy nonsense. Unfortunate. But it needs to be really, really good. They need to do things like right now that are profoundly scary. And, up the beanstalk, sure. I wouldn't counter this anyways. Kiora, okay. Yep, you're good. Creatures are uncounterable. I don't care about either of those. That I care about, but I can't do anything about it. So, what do I do? Nothing, right? Yeah, I don't do anything. Alright. How do I deal with this? Frogify, right? This doesn't have hexproof or anything like that, right? Yeah, no. I don't like that untapped decision my opponent just made. Kind of makes me nervous. Don't like this idea. I don't know what this means, but I don't like it. Alright, well, I'm going to lead with this. And I lead with an attack. I can technically kill my opponent right now. If I do X for 5. And I guess I will? I am so not interested in respecting any card in the game right now. So, good luck. Alright, yep. I don't know what they could have had there. But, yeah, I don't know. Alright, yeah. Drop Displacer Kitten for what has come to my attention. Another Frogify. That is just better because it has Flash. And I guess I could exile the creature. Don't think I'll ever do that. Even if I could. There's like one land that taps for colorless, but that doesn't matter. Alright. I really can't remember the name of it. Kamigawa. That's it. Oh, nice. The Necro Bloom. Alright, well, on the other end of this, I lost. Or Nadu lost, I should say, when I was playing Necro Bloom. This hand is really, really wants a land, but you know what? We can get there. We can certainly get there. Our opponent has the thing that allows them to actually play against us. Lucky them. They're also on the play. I mean, the 1 mana dorks are literally time walks. They're almost identical to just time walk. Oh, we don't want to trade, right? We don't want to trade. Our creature has value. We will cast, I guess, this? Sure. I would like to Frogify my opponent's commander. I guess I will, because I have something else to do at the same time. It feels fine, I guess. I don't know. But obviously, I don't want my opponent to get value off their commander. Oh, I love it. They get to cycle it, then play it as a land. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, they didn't swing. They should have swung there. Okay, well, they didn't cast their commander, so I guess I just cast this. Memory lapse, hopefully good enough. I don't want to memory lapse my opponent's commander. I just really don't want to memory lapse my opponent's commander. I want to Frogify it. And they have Phyrexian Tower, so nothing matters. Wow. Okay, that's a problem. Phyrexian Tower is a sack outlet. There goes my Frogify. Alright, my opponent was done. Okay, so this is probably the best commander I've played in a while. I still make the argument Ivey is probably better. Now that is crazy to say because I just went 15-3. I think I went 15-3. Honestly, I probably should have went 16-2, but I went 15-3. Actually, it was probably more than that. I lost track because once you get 15 wins, you know, I can't see the daily win anymore. It was definitely more than 15. This is insane as a strategy, and there were certain cards that I never played because I didn't know about them in the first half of playing. But if I ever got them, it would have been completely nuts. Roaring Earth in Brizzly Bill. Just nuts with this. Negate probably didn't have to be in here, but let me talk about the core idea, actually, before I go card to card. Our opponents seem to be playing not tier 1, so we're not in tier 1. That is huge. I believe Ivey is in tier 1. If not, it's very close, which means Ivey is playing against stronger things. Therefore, Nadu has a massive advantage, not playing against Rusko, Keenan, and Ragavan all day. That puts Nadu in a huge favor between the two. However, if they were both in the same exact spot, I think Ivey is still a little better. This one can play a slower game, and it kind of wants to, which is weird, you know, saying your whole deck is 1s and 2s. But it does kind of want to play a slower game than Ivey, which means this is not a 1-to-1 comparison. This is an excellent card. It's just sitting there, and your opponent's like, well, I can't target any of your creatures, and if I do, you're going to get value. From playing against it, it seemed like it was always a good idea to just send it, and if they had an answer, you're doomed. If they don't, well, you did it. You did the thing. You blew up their stuff. Board wipes are a problem as well, which is kind of why I wanted more negate effects. But I didn't really bump into any board wipes. Actually, come to think of it, didn't really bump into them. And you do have answers. You can make this indestructible with some cards. You can phase it out with some cards. I was not playing Essence Flux because I kind of liked keeping my enchantments and equipment kind of sitting on my creature, so flickering it didn't seem like a good idea, but you could absolutely do that and it would be fine. Mystic Sanctuary is an awkward card. Like, you're putting a non-land on top, and if that mattered with some sequences, it could be weird. It doesn't play too nicely with Snapcaster Mage. But this is probably reasonable enough. If they ever like appropriately weigh this commander, or maybe because it's new, it's in like dead middle queue. If it changes, which is I think that's how they do it, that could explain why Pock was like dumpster tier until later. Until then, you can weight your deck heavier, and then once you start to see that you're up against tier 1 stuff, you can maybe try to pull yourself back down. But until this actually gets a weight, assuming it does not have one, don't know. You're fine with playing Mystic Sanctuary, but you really don't need this. I don't know. This felt, the 2 times it came up, I'm like, I don't even want to put a counterspell on top given the board state. Protection spell on the top of your deck is not a protection spell in your hand. That is a little different. Your opponent could, you could have a fetch land. They target your commander, and then you fetch in response, trigger your commander, put a protection spell right on top. That's probably a blue one, assuming this comes in untapped. And then you have your protection spell out of your graveyard because of this card. So that line of play is really good. But, you know, sometimes it's just doesn't happen. Sometimes you don't even get this untapped. You need 3 or more islands. It's kind of steep. Excuse me. The color distribution was almost down the middle, which is interesting. I don't even know which one was the stronger of the 2 colors. Both of these colors were very, very useful and important. I probably still leans towards green because time walking is very powerful, right? With Delighted Halfling and all the dorks. It's just time walking your opponent is and was the strongest thing we did. So yeah, it's probably still the green cards. There's probably a way to make this a even slower commander and do some jank nonsense for, like, quote-unquote no reason. But you could. If you wanted to play, like, mid-range creatures or blue-green ramp with, like, Okama and stuff at the top end for some very weird reason, you absolutely could. I don't think you should, but you could, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Your opponent not wanting to target any of your creatures is absolutely hilarious. This effect is probably as strong as Hexproof. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that. That's an interesting one. I really like the design space of this. It's obviously disgusting in one-on-one slow singleton formats, but like EDH 4-player, okay, you know, your opponent, you drew some cards, your opponents are looking at you like, bet, right? You drew some more protection spells, but you have 3 opponents. Like, obviously you have way more powerful cards to make your deck out of, but one-on-one, this is like pretty scary. This is a very scary commander for sure. I don't even know if this is better than Pock. I think Pock, post nerf Pock, I guess I'd say, well, in nerf in terms of deck weight, if Pock was in the same playing field as this, I think Pock is still favored. I had played against this with Pock twice and won both games because Pock is so big and they just couldn't do anything about it. And then if they did, I could just play another giant green spell, like, you know, March of the Ends or something, and just win. Like, they just felt like I was taking 3 damage a turn, and just, I was fine. That was actually one thing I will say is this was a little rough at getting large. Now, you can circumvent that by running more auras, but it does sort of slow down your reaction a little, because you're investing a lot of mana on your own turn to, like, continuously make this bigger. and that could be a problem. Now, obviously, every time you invest mana to target this, you have a chance of finding a land on the top or simply replacing the card that you just cast. So it's not really a big deal, and it just doesn't matter your opponent seeing the card. Like, they see what you draw, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That you can't afford to, like, the information I gain, I can now make a new decision. Like, no. Your opponent drew 3 cards. It doesn't matter what they are. Knowing you have a protection spell or not does not change your opponent's decision. And if it does, it forces people to maybe make the play that they were going to anyways. So that's kind of funny. I like the Death Touch thing. Like, Poison Dart Frog is like almost a mirror breaker, because Death Touch on a creature with reach is very annoying. They need indestructible, but I did completely clown the mirror. There was one... No, we clowned the mirror, and then we got clowned. Yeah, we got clowned. I actually lost to Nadu a game. Yeah, I got clowned by... They played Roaring Earth, and then I just lost because all of their lands made lands, and then those lands made lands, and I lost. Like, they actually just went banana sandwich on me, and I just completely lost. They're drawing like 5 cards a turn. I didn't need 2 mana protection spells. It was kind of the first things I actually took out. It just felt like I didn't really need them. But your 2 mana protection spells are also kind of just counter spells, right? So might as well, if you're going to pick between the two, you can't run 500 cards, you probably pick the counter spells. I have not seen anyone ever play this card, but this does target your commander, so it does actually work with your commander's text box. I think. Pretty sure this targets. I don't think this has the clone style text where like you make a decision and like I don't know. If this targets your commander, cool. If it doesn't, it's just another like weak mana leak. There's like 5 of these, but I don't know. Someone will have to tell me in the comments if this works. It never came up. I mean, yeah, shoot. There's even more 1 minute equipment you can run. I wasn't running all of them. I think I took 2 of them out. Every time I had one, I was so happy. So you could probably put the other 2 back in. This does have, I'd say, about 150-ish options for cards that are like really all in on like, the text box of this and not just like blue-green jank. So there are options here. And this was just kind of where we ended up at in the end of just, I mean, I went, again, I basically never lost. So this list seemed to be a pretty solid one. I know there was a chunk of my wins were simply people conceding when they saw this in the command zone, which is not a good sign. But that did just happen a few times. I don't like Swan Song or the Offer You Can't Refuse, like the 1 mana hard counters. Swan Song creates a blocker for your opponent, and that could be very crucial. And Offer You Can't Refuse, giving your opponent treasures, kind of could also be very bad for you. I just don't really like that card, honestly. Tyvar Stand was amazing. It's a win condition and a protection spell. I think I killed 2 people with this card, or could have, but I think the game ended before they let me swing. This card was absolutely nuts. It was so nuts, I almost wanted to put more +X cards in my deck, but I thought better of it. I think we were fine without more. But you could, I think there's one, I saw additional one that gives you like Toxic and does this, but it doesn't give you Hexproof and Indestructible, so I don't know. But it is kind of funny to, out of nowhere, Banefire your opponent, but you put all the damage into a creature instead of like just sending it to your face. I like Banefire. This commander does a good job at ramping without running ramp spells, really, other than Mana Dorks. So it's very easy to kill someone out of nowhere, and then all your Mana Dorks are suddenly very scary and lethal, because you have like 5 of them sitting there not really doing anything, and then you swing with all of them, and then they don't block all of them, and then the one that got through is now a 10/10. So you could run more of this effect and not feel too bad about it. And keep in mind, if it doesn't work, well, guess what? You drew 2 cards. You drew a card off of this, targeting your creature, which your opponent cannot stop, and You probably drew a card off of a removal spell that your opponent had to cast on the target of this, so they live. So you kind of like drew 2 cards for your troubles, which is crazy. Combat tricks that are offensive benefit you in that regard. You could run fight and prey upon style effects too. I was not running them. We don't, again, get that big with our commander, but they all do replace themselves and can harass certain things like Cosmic Hunger. The instant speed ones do a good job at giving maybe your... It's just a combat trick, right? Like, they block with 2 flyers, you kill one of them with it, and then the other would die normally to this, or something like that. Like, I feel like you could run some fight effects. I think that's totally reasonable. Blizzard Brawl is probably possible. I don't really hate them, but I also don't necessarily love them. I think the Frogifies are kind of better. They don't draw a card, but they just completely annihilate certain things. Like, if you Frogify Grenzo, they're not doing anything. Well, Grenzo's not a good example, because Grenzo's not stealing anything out of your deck that matters, except Frogifies. So like they stole your Roaring Earth. Oh no, right? Like Renzo has no good targets, but you shut down Atraxa or something. The 4-mana vigilance nonsense, you just shut it down, and well, guess what? This is coming in, and it ain't gonna stop. This is an excellent, phenomenal commander. It is up there with Ivey and all the crazy ones. I assume this will become tier 1 if it somehow already is in tier 1, and no, I mean, it literally is not. It's not in tier 1, but it will probably get bumped up. But yeah, I mean, if you just want your 4 daily wins for the day, just run this. You know what? Just keep hitting the Q button, because apparently people just scoop. So just keep hitting it. Oh, they didn't scoop immediately? Concede. Move on. If you don't even want to play for the day, you just do that. Just send it. But yeah, I recommend this. 10 out of 10. Phenomenal commander. One of the best ones of the set so far. By a landslide. So yeah, let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I still think Ivey's better than because it is.